50,000 subscribers. Oh my god, how did we get here? Drex here from DrexFactor.com, and I'm here to share a very special milestone with all of you watching out there. Before we dive in, I just want to give a quick shout out to the friends of the channel. Big thanks to Dark Monk, Flow Toys, LMF Props, Spinballs, and Ultrapoi for helping to make the videos on this channel possible. You can learn more about all these awesome companies by checking out the links that I've got down in the description of this video. So when I first started posting poi videos to this channel, which I think was back in September of 2009, I definitely came at it from a perspective of just wanting something fun to do in my free time. And making videos was something that, it kept me practicing, and it was a great way for me to work on media experience that I knew was going to be useful for other pursuits. And also, too, I just thought it was going to be a fun way to track my progress as I got better at poi. And something kind of miraculous happened somewhere along the way, and that's that I found an audience, and I found people that were interested in the things that I was doing, and even more than that, I found a way to create things that helped other people and that helped them bring something into their lives that they really wanted. Beyond a shadow of a doubt, the most worthwhile part of this journey has been getting to help other people on their journeys, has been giving them the resources they need to be able to bring poi into their life and have the benefits from it that I know that I've had as well. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much to all of you out there that are watching. It means so much to me to know that the work that I produce is having an impact on other people's lives. So to mark this occasion, I wanted to do a little Q&A session and give you guys the opportunity to ask me any questions that came to mind. So without further ado, here are some of the questions you had. Hey Drex, congratulations, and here's a question for you. It seems much easier for fire poi users to learn how to fuel up safely and efficiently than users of other fire implements. Do other larger props, for example fans, hoop, umbrella, have as established a method for fueling up / spinning off? Thanks. So it's really funny that you should ask that question, because as it turns out, that is the theme for all of my videos for the month of August. I'm going to be collaborating with Mayday Atlanta on a series of videos on how to fuel up and put out all kinds of different props. So the short answer is there are actually several other props that are as easily fueled and put out as poi are, and there are also some that are quite difficult. But we're going to cover all these in the coming months, so keep your eyes peeled. Maybe a different vibe here, but it's an emotion that better be ventilated every now and then. What irritates you about the Flow community? What were the most annoying things about creating content for the past 12 years? So let's take each of these pieces individually. So first up, what irritates me the most about the Flow Arts community? I think the honest answer to that is that I think that we who discover flow find that it has a lot of positive impacts on our lives, but that also sometimes leads to situations where we have an inflated sense of our own kind of enlightenment or wokeness or what have you. I think that in a lot of cases, we sometimes lose along the way the humility of realizing that we're figuring it out just like everybody else does. And it really, really irritates me when I see people acting as though they're above it all and superior to it all. I think that it's one of those things that we have to keep in mind, that just because you spin props, it doesn't mean you're smarter or have your act more together than anybody else. So I think that's the biggest one. As for what the most difficult part of content creation is for me, it is editing. I hate editing. Which, if any of you guys out there are experts in doing that, would love to help me out, please pop me a message, because yeah, sitting down to edit is one of those things that I definitely dread every time I have to do it, and takes me far longer than it probably should, because it's just such drudgery for me. But yeah, it's editing. When are you going to let Lux show you how to levy one on camera? Tell you what. How about if you guys want to see that happen, go over and subscribe to Lux's channel. If you can get Lux over the 10,000 subscriber threshold here on YouTube, I will go ahead and do a levy wand lesson with her that we will record for posterity, so you can see both how unbelievably incompetent I am at levy wand, as well as how incredibly patient a teacher she is. Would you rather have a dog with human hands or a cat with a human face? What? Congratulations, Drex, on the 50K subs. Do you do any festivals/workshops in the UK or abroad? I have loads of questions, and it would be great to pick your brains in person. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I actually was originally planning on doing a tour through the UK in June, and as I was looking into the visa requirements to be able to tour there and sell tickets and everything, I discovered that I didn't have enough time to make it happen before my projected travel date. I would still love to do it, maybe in the fall, so if folks folks out there in the UK are interested in having me come through, please leave me a comment and let me know that you're interested, so I know that it's one of those things that I can look forward to filled up classes to be able to teach when I get there. I have a few questions. What was the hardest trick for you to learn / took the most time? What advice would you give to people who have difficulty learning a move in their non-dominant hand? Do you ever plan to try other flow arts besides just poi spinning? So again, let me split this up. By far, the most difficult trick for me to learn was how to do split opposites in spin flowers with gunslingers. It took me, I think, approximately a year and 3 months. And granted, I wasn't like diligently drilling it every single day through that time. Certainly for the last 6 months, I was pretty diligently drilling it every day. But yeah, that is the hardest I've ever had to work for a trick in the entire 12 plus years that I've been spinning now. And it felt awesome when I finally got it, but man, that one was a long, long journey. As for advice that I would give to somebody who is working with stuff on their non-dominant hand, to be honest with you, I would say I'm a very big proponent of when you're drilling something that you work for reps. That it's not just about, can I do this thing? It's, can I do this thing 10 times in a row? And I would say that when you're drilling stuff with your non-dominant hand, drill it twice as much. That is, if I'm going to be doing like 10 reps of an anti-spin flower on my right hand, I'm going to do 20 reps of it with my left hand. And the volume should ultimately equal out. And it's a funny thing because I realized about 5 years ago, all of a sudden, that my two halves had equaled out to the point that my left hand was starting to get used for tasks that it never had before in a bunch of different things in life. Like I almost always drink with my left hand now instead of my right hand, and sometimes I'll eat with it too, which is really funny because people who've known me for years now will sometimes notice this and ask me, wait, I didn't realize you were a lefty, and I'm not. So keep drilling on it, and really cool things happen when you do. So I actually do several other flow arts besides poi. Probably the one that I've done the most is double staff. And, you know, I was doing double staff videos on this channel for quite some time, and then I kind of lost my focus on it for a little while. And to be honest, I became more interested in just making better videos than making videos on a different topic and everything. And I also hoop. But it's one of those things that, like, I kind of decided a while ago that hooping was going to be a thing that I did for me, so I almost never do it in front of other people. But yeah, the short answer is I do other flow arts. How did you find poi spinning, and what drove you to continue it? So I originally found poi spinning at Burning Man 2006. That was that was actually the first time that I had ever seen fire dancing, and you know, it's one of those things that really the first time I saw it was at a fire spin jam that was happening at Hookah Dome on Wednesday night. And I can remember specifically the person that I really connected with. It was a woman that was spinning a fire hula hoop, and she basically didn't know any tricks whatsoever. She was just like keeping it up around her waist. But the thing was, she had the biggest smile on her face. She was just so in it and enjoying it so much, and there was something about that that just drew me in. And then when Fire Conclave happened on Saturday night right before the man burned and everything, and I got to see all of the different things that people were doing and the choreography and everything, that was the moment at which I decided, okay, I'm going to learn how to do this. Now the thing was, I did not have a tool picked out. I had no idea what I was going to spin. And when I got home, I spent months going around to my friends asking, hey, does anybody do that fire thing that we saw at Burning Man? And finally, there was a friend who said, what, do you mean poi? And I had no idea what poi was, but it kind of sounded exotic enough in my head that it sounded like it could be that fire thing that I saw on Playa. So I said, yes, that. I want to learn how to do that. So the short answer there is that it's kind of an accident that I became a poi spinner. It literally was just a person answering that question at exactly the right time that got me into it. As for what kept me into it, a couple things. Number one was reading a book called Mastery by a guy named George Leonard. that was all about the techniques that Aikido masters use to be able to master a technique. And it really blew my mind because I was that person that was kind of a jack of all trades and a master of none. And I had just assumed that once I got to a certain stage of things, when I plateaued, that meant that I wasn't ever going to get better at it. And so I would move on to something else. And reading that book taught me that basically the way to master a thing is to set down the commitment to it and to keep working through it even when you plateau. And poi was just the thing that I was learning when I read that book, so it became the thing that I applied those techniques to. Guess what? It works. The other thing was that I discovered the community. There was a group of people that spun fire every week at a place called Confluence Park in Denver, right close to where I lived. And the people there were amazing. And they really made me feel at home and welcome and turned me on to a new community that was just amazing. And I think it was those two things that really pulled me in and kept me in. Why have you chosen to stick to just poi? Well, so the short answer is that I haven't. As I mentioned in a previous answer, there are several other props that I do spin. But I feel as though poi, I feel as though focusing on just one prop, the rewards to that for me are far greater than they are spreading out my attentions across multiple props. I feel as though when you invest yourself in that one thing that you want to master and really, really, really focus your energies and attentions and time into it and everything, that the rewards that come back to you in terms of what you discover, both about yourself and the prop, are just incredible. And I just found that that was my answer for how I wanted to approach flow arts. And your answer may be totally different, but yeah, that'd be why. So thank you to everybody that left me a question or congratulated me on hitting this wonderful milestone. I would love to do more Q&A stuff. So if you've got additional questions after watching this video, please leave me a comment and let me know, and I may answer them in a future Q&A. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to see more like it, please hit that subscription button and as well as ringing the notification bell. YouTube changes its suggestion algorithm all the time, and hitting that notification bell is the only way to guarantee that you're going to get to see my videos when they get posted. Also, a massive shout out to my wonderful supporters on Patreon. You guys are the reason that this video and all the videos on this channel exist. If you'd like to sign up to support the work that I do, please head over to patreon.com/DrexFactorPoi, and thanks in advance.